You guys are all aware of Brexit. You guys know the kind of what it is, right? So for people who don't know, I'm just going to say it again. So in 2016, the UK had a referendum to decide if they want to leave the European Union. The referendum was in 2016, and it took 4 years to finally make it official. In 2020, January 31st, it was official. The UK was out of. Now, what caused UK to decide to? So I'm going to lay out a
But
few.
they don't accept euro at all.
They never accepted the euro. They never used euro. They always used pounds.
I know
But
they always use, but the
they're not officially part of the European Union. Okay, they're not a member. So what led to this? So one thing was kind of economic dissatisfaction.
before you get to that, you were allowed to go to Britain and have their pounds, and they accepted the euro. No, or they were part of the union.
Sure, you had you have to convert your money in the UK.
No, you could
They
use
didn't
both.
accept euro.
You could use both.
Oh no,
I don't know.
Euro? No, I think it was pounds.
I think you had to convert it.
You had to convert pounds.
Go to
When
London,
I went
it's
to
pounds.
Ireland,
Pounds.
yeah. When I went to Ireland, it was
and it was
euro, and when I went to Northern Ireland, it was pounds.
one.
Yeah, because Northern Ireland is
It
part
had-
of the
yeah.
UK.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a lot of people, regular people, felt that the functional it wasn't doing what it was initially promised to do. People didn't feel. And I'm talking about regular people, middle class. They didn't feel like they're really benefiting. They think they felt like if UK was on the road, better, we pull more things. Things would just be ran better. That was kind of the feeling. But these are regular people. People that know are higher ups. They know this is very important. This, like, they shouldn't leave. But most of the population felt gave nothing to be in the EU. And they also believed that I think it benefited more people, the elite, had money, people had business. It more benefited them than the average Joe. There's a lot of dissidents about that. Also, like a lot of countries these days, was rising nationalism, anti-immigration, right? You have to understand when you're once you put your foot in the EU, it's free range, wherever you want. There's no more borders. They don't stop you. No, like immigration, you're not allowed coming here, you're not allowed going there. Basically, when you put your foot in the door in the EU, you can go anywhere you want in the EU. And obviously, you're an immigrant, you try and find a loophole from some country, and then you want to go to either France, Germany, the UK, the rich country. So people are upset about that. You know how white people are when neighborhood's not white anymore? They get nervous. It's not looking good. And also, there's that fear that they're coming here to take their jobs, right? They can do the job cheap.
Everybody, thanks for sticking around. If you're loving this content, hit the like button. Hello, right here. Subscribe and join our awesome community. Ring that notification bell so you never miss a beat. Together, we're building something special. Very, very special. Let's grow the channel and have some fun along the way, baby. Want more content? Check out these other fantastic channels. You got Checkin Habs, one-stop shop for all those things that Habs and sports we talking about. Hello. Checking accounts. Dive into the world of finance and economics. Big money. Big. Find out the links below in the description.
Cheaper. You're going to take my jobs. We're going to suffer economically. And a lot of it is just get abrasive. Another reason was there was this growing party called the UK Independence Party, and that was basically their policy. Main issue, like Québécois, their main issue was separate. So the conservative at that time, Dave Cameron, he didn't want the other party to get more popular. So he made the promise that if you'll re-elect me again, I'll have the referendum, finally decide if we leave or not. He just made that promise because he wanted to get re-elected. In his head, he thought it was never going to pass, right? He thought it was like people are going to vote and they're going to stay and this issue's put to rest. What happened? The referendum, 51.9% people decided to leave. You know what the prime minister did? 2 weeks later, resigned. Resigned because he didn't expect that. And the person was Theresa May.
My cousin.
She came in, took over. She'd last about 3 years. She had to take care of all the negotiations. This is like a clusterfuck, right?
Wow.
She quit. I don't want to do this anymore. Can't figure this shit out. Then came Boris Johnson. And there was also like stupid propaganda, like this stuff.
That guy just looked like he was drunk all the time.
There was this famous bus going around London that became like viral all around UK. We send the EU $350 million a week. Let's fund. This is like the hospitals. Let's hospital our funds instead of sending money out to the EU.
Ah,
Which this kind of was maybe not a lie, but it was this was false propaganda.
Is that a pile of garbage behind the bus?
That's probably what happened when they didn't need the bus anymore. That's scrapyard. Because you have to understand the EU is kind of like the NHL, right? A team is struggling, all the other people have to support the
Step in and help. Yeah.
It's like that in the EU. Like when Greece almost went bankrupt, all of the EU had to step in and dig Greece out of their situation. And they were like, but why do we have to? And obviously countries like UK give more money or have to give more money because of their GDP, right?
yeah.
Like what if like there was people weren't happy about that, right? That we have to help other countries. So they finally did it, right? What happened 2020, 2024? I don't know if you guys heard, but what do you think the outcome today? Was it the right idea or was it a terrible idea?
Get out of the European Union.
Yeah, they've been out since 2020. I think it was I don't know if you guys know any about this, but what do you think happened? Was it a good move or a bad move?
In what sense? Like
Are they better off now?
fiscally, like money wise?
Were they better off staying in or they're better off leaving?
I'm gonna say I don't know much about it. I'm gonna say they're
Yeah, just
probably
guess.
better off. I'm gonna guess they're better off now.
Tony, what do you think?
I have a feeling they're not.
Me too. I have no idea, but I'm guessing.
I'm gonna say why I think it's.
I'm going to tell you after.
I'm just saying because, like you said, you know, if they're working so hard to keep money more with them, and they had the pound before, it worked. So they're finally out. They don't have strings attached with companies, with countries like Greece that are not doing good. Now
More
they're
independent. They don't have to
they're
care
more
about anybody else.
independent, and
Yeah.
they probably had a lot more time to figure shit out. So that's the only reason.
That makes sense.
I don't know. It's a little more complicated than just actual Brexit.
It's super complicated.
Of
The whole
course.
thing was like a fiasco. It was
But-
crazy.
It's long term, yes.
So let's remember they officially left in 2020. So that was the height of, right? So
Yeah.
these results could be a little skewed. But in the end, it's pretty much looked as a very negative consequence for Brexit. I'll point it out. The economy significantly underperformed. They
For
calculated
England, for Britain.
for the UK. So that's Scotland, England, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Do I have them all? Scotland. Okay. And
and Wales,
Wales, yeah. Is
Dead Wales.
there another one? Scotland, Wales,
Ireland.
and England. That's it. Okay. They actually grew 5% less than every other European Union country. So that's a weird way to word it in the last 8 years. So that means everyone grew 5% more. They're saying it's funny how they said it. They grown 5% less than any other country. Weird way of saying, but basically it's not a good thing.
Like grew 5%.
Every other country grew 5% economically, or maybe like GDP. What
Less, they said 5%.
they were 5% less than every other country in
Exactly.
Europe.
So if the UK,
Less in growth.
whatever, let's just say Italy grew by 3%. They grew small amounts.
Their market, their economy. I don't know if it means market like stocks. Or it shrank. It got $140 billion smaller in 2023, and they're predicting by 2035 it's going to shrink $300 billion. There's reduced trade because you have to remember when you're in the EU, it's free trade. There's like you pay the same as everybody else does. But now if you're out of the EU, you probably have different prices. You don't have the same negotiated price that you had before. So it reduced a lot of trade. I have here 27% decline of UK good export and 32% drop of import. That's a
Why I said
significant
they
drop.
should-
They got in the ass about labor shortages. All those jobs they're worried that they're going to lose. Nobody wants to do those jobs. Who did those jobs? Immigrants. Now they don't have immigrants to do those jobs. Guess what people have to do? They have to up the salary to attract people to work for them. What happens when you up salaries?
Everything is
good inflation. Goods go up. The consumer has to pay for those higher wages, right? So everything got more expensive. There was increased of costs of bureaucracy because now you don't have these open borders or these. Now you have to have an immigration institution. Now you have to have someone who takes care of the customs, the imports, the tariffs, and all that. It created more jobs, but in a sense, it created more jobs, but it cost the government more money. They're saying it added $2 billion a year, but not
The budget.
It just says in general $2 billion. I don't know if it's per year, but it added $2 billion to that. The higher cost of living. It actually went up. Groceries went up $7 billion.
7 billion. Billion.
People are struggling.
Financial services went down because less investors from Europe are investing in the UK. So I don't know what that means, like starting companies or buying companies in the UK. I don't know what that, but or buying stocks. So I don't know what it could be. And obviously, the UK is an island, so I don't think they're big on lumber, oil, minerals. All that stuff has to be imported.
That's what I was gonna say. If they're import export,
That took the agriculture and stuff like that. That all took a beating. Everything's more expensive because you have to import lumber and pay more than you used to pay before. So the reason I'm bringing this up, I made this connection, is should this be like a warning for like all those separatists and
Yes.
like, you sure you want to separate?
Well,
Look,
we've
one of
been
those-
saying this for the longest time. You think because they're separate?
We've been saying it, yeah. But we've just always been saying it. This is like proof. Like one of the biggest countries in the world, one of the strongest countries in the world, suffered from separating. And I want to. That was the discussion I want to bring up. Like, is this something that you can debate with or use in an argument? Or when you're having?
look at North Korea. I think it's going well for them.
But these people know,
Big money there.
Brian. These people know. The government
They're
knows. It's
separated.
just
Look
that
at
they
this,
want to have
long-term.
control. So they make you believe whatever they
No,
want.
but Quebecers actually think things are going to be better. Things are going to be
Yeah.
better. They believe that.
They believe that.
Quebecers.
And you know
Yeah.
what?
But
French-
the government is making them believe that, but it's not. You think Canada's gonna make them? You think they're still gonna? They still think they're gonna collect a Canadian pension. You're no longer part of Canada.
People that paid into it, I think they should still get it.
Yeah.
You paid into it.
You
You
still
No, but
get it.
everyone else.
Like new people, yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, goodbye.
yeah, you shouldn't pay for the other. But
You're not gonna have your currency anymore. You still want to use the Canadian dollar.
That's what they want.
You still
And
want to use the Canadian army.
Yeah.
Come on.
I think
Where
a
are
big
you gonna-
factor. You said it though. Import export. When you think of it, plays a huge factor.
Because it's an island too, so it's very like hard to import stuff as well. So you need good trade contracts
Are they
or
trying to
negotiations.
get back into the EU or no?
They're not trying to get back to the EU, but they're trying to like negotiate with EU like better rates or
I
whatever.
guess?
Yeah,
exactly.
so kind of be like a partner of the E EU.
It's not Quebec. They're trading through the treaties Canada has with the United States and Mexico or wherever else.
NAFTA.
Yeah, NAFTA.
Yeah,
But that's kind of what the EU had. It was
yeah,
like a
but
NAFTA
if,
agreement.
if Quebec separates from Canada,
Well, they have to
they have
do
to have their own
something.
trade. So
The United States has to negotiate something. Canada has to
be
negotiate,
more expensive.
and then Mexico has to negotiate something.
It's not going to be the same pricing.